The priority of deployment of robotics will be in 4 domains, which you can see on this slide: agriculture, healthcare, consumer robotics, and industrial automation. And again, these are areas which are important for our country, which are important for our state. In agriculture, we have been working for the past many years in ensuring that we become the first state to actually double farmers' income, and adoption of robotics also will help us move closer to that goal. Healthcare is again a very fertile area of adopting robotics, and there are quite a few hospitals in Hyderabad which have already begun their robotics engagement programs. We will be working with them. Consumer robotics, like many of the robots that you see around now, they are the ones which we will be popularizing more and more. Industrial automation is again something which has become very important in Hyderabad. Many of you would be aware that large e-commerce companies have fulfillment centers, and lots of the work inside those fulfillment centers is done by robots. There are other large manufacturing companies also which deploy robots. So we will be building upon the activities inside industries, inside logistics infrastructure, and create more and more products and solutions related to industrial automation. The robotics framework will have certain very defined components. We will be setting up a robo park where companies can set up their manufacturing facility. Many of the companies who are already in this activity have told us that importing components becomes one of the biggest challenges. Not every component is currently made in India, and therefore we will try to create a central electronics hub where all these parts can be sourced and made available very easily. And obviously the opportunity to export also is very promising, and we will facilitate that. Prototyping facility, as I said, is already available in T-Works, where people who are into deep, serious robotics, they will be encouraged to use that. We also have the National Center for Additive Manufacturing, or NCAM, which also has facilities for you to prototype and test. And for rural areas, we are setting up 5 rural branches of T-Works in 5 cities, and with the help of IRA, robotics activities also will be promoted so that the entire state is covered without the need for people to come to Hyderabad. And many people think that robotics is only a piece of equipment, it is only a piece of machine, it is just a hardware, but lots of software goes behind powering those robotics. So lots of it today is utilizing high volume data, is utilizing artificial intelligence. So there will be lots of interface with our AI mission, with our open data teams, with our cybersecurity organizations, etc., so that the software component of all these robotic development work is also made very easy and smooth in our state of Telangana. We will also be supporting startups. We already have great facilities like T-Hub, T-Works, etc., where startups receive the best-in-class support. The same will be extended to robotic startups. We will also incentivize investments in this area by using the incentives available in similar lines of activity like innovation, ICT, electronics, etc. To help in compliance and authorization, we will be working with national agencies and state agencies. I mentioned earlier that all this will happen through a model of partnership, so we will also be facilitating that. Robotics is a nascent area in many parts of the world, so we will be also interacting with like-minded people. We should be thankful that His Excellency, the Ambassador of Belgium, also promised to support and cooperate, because his country also is on a steep learning curve related to robotics, and we will benefit from these kind of partnerships. And we will also conduct programs so that more and more awareness is created on possible usage of robots in newer lines of activity. Robotics is, as I said, still a nascent area, an emerging area. It is an area where lots of very productive research and innovation can happen. Fortunately, we have terrific academic institutions in the city and the state. We will be bringing them, roping them in for our partnership. Similarly, there are institutions which have already been set up. Very recently, I had the fortune of participating in the launch of a robotics setup in the GMR Innovex. So with these kind of institutions, we'll be joining hands. Human capital enhancement, again, is going to be a big responsibility of the government, and we will be participating in robotics courses, programs, faculty development, upskilling, reskilling, etc., to the best of our ability. And finally, as I said, it is all a matter of deploying it responsibly. Right now, you must be aware that when artificial intelligence is showing its potential, there is lots of concern also. In fact, some of the stalwarts of the industry have actually asked for a moratorium of any further AI work. The same tomorrow can happen with robotics as well, but we don't want to reach that situation. We want to be responsible for day one to ensure that there is adequate safety standards, guidelines, and there is no waste that is generated. Everything is circular when we promote greater use of robotics. So the final announcement from my side is that the institution which will be running all the robotics program, we are calling it TRIC, or the Telangana Robotics Innovation Center. And as I said, all the 5 pillars that I spoke about, that will be their responsibility. We'll be designing it over a period of the next few weeks or so. Who will be the founding members, what will be the governance structure, and so on and so forth. So once again, I'm very grateful that Honorable Minister has supported us in conquering new frontiers of next generation technology. We have ensured that whatever trust he has reposed on us, that has been ably demonstrated in the earlier 7 areas of new technologies that we have ventured into, and we are very confident that the 8th activity under the emerging technology umbrella will also turn out to be very successful, and will continue to maintain the reputation of Telangana as the leading stage when it comes to new generation technologies. Once again, grateful for your presence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for outlining the framework.
Thank you, Ranjan, sir, for that insightful overview.
Even robotics thanking you, sir. So now I would like to invite Karthik to introduce the other speakers.
So we have 3 speakers for today. First, I would like to invite Shri Purushottam Kaushik, Head Center for 4th Industrial Revolution, World Economic Forum, to give a short 3-minute speech and insights about the policy.
Thank you so much. As Karthik said, I represent World Economic Forum. And if I remember correctly, 3 years back when we started our, when I joined in World Economic Forum, I think the first engagement that we had with the state was Telangana, where we established and signed up Center for Responsible Deployment of Emerging Technologies. And that's possibly the only center which we may have nationally which is focusing only on responsible deployment of technologies across. And as Rama was citing up various initiatives across different pillars, I was just looking at it through this last 3 years. We have been able to work through where some of the even like the global initiatives have also not been able to reach, where we have collaborated.
AI for AI, which Raghu, you're as well leading here, and it is now in a state called Sagubagu as well in Khammam district, which is transforming the lives of chili growing farmers, has been an amazing example across many states, and even like globally as well, like Brazil, Saudi, Colombia, many of the countries are looking at the same pilot now, and how that impact can be brought in by technologies coming on the ground. And it happened not just by like possibly some discussions or frameworks, it actually meant creating real playbooks for district on the ground staff, I would meaning including district agriculture officers and then farm level centers, Krishi Vigyan Kendras, and all the farmer bodies. And then the technology guys coming in and then actually deploying those pieces of where we are looking at bringing in AI for quality, market connect platforms, digital advisories, and quite a bit happening there as well. The other example which we spoke about was medicine from the sky, which is another big piece of work which we have done here, along with the state as a public-private partnership, Now, as Rama said, scaling across different states as well, beside Rwanda and other places where the model is being explored now. Now, it's one of the place where the policies were on a very different side. There were so much challenges in terms of really making the drones fly and getting so many permissions. But then this was a state which possibly took a leap and then really started exploring and pushing the boundaries. And when we went to the Ministry of Home, Ministry of Niti Aayog and Ministry of Civil Aviation, possibly this was the anchor where we hashed on. So I'd like not go more. Robotics is another piece of work which we intend to do, go much deeper, create frameworks, but then make it happen as well. That's something which we will like to keep things moving. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Puru, for your insights about what and how World Economic Forum is doing in the space of emerging technologies. Thank you once again. And now I would like to invite another key speaker for today, Srimati Rooma Sinha ma'am, Senior Consultant and Gynecologist at Apollo Hospitals. Please, ma'am.
Respected Honorable Minister KT Ramarao Garu, Principal Secretary Mr. Jayesh Ranjan and Sita, and of course Rama Garu. Thank you for having me here. As I said in the last meeting when I was here, when we were discussing the framework, I'm the end user of a robot. I'm not really making one, but it's so encouraging to see so many startups working in this area. Today, robotic technology in medicine is something which will go forward. There is no looking back. It is here to stay. I, being a gynecological surgeon at Apollo, I have been using this technology for almost 1 decade to serve women of this state and country to get a minimal access surgery whenever they have a complex gynecological problems. Of course, it is very heartening to see a robotic arm here with a lab trainer, and I would like to interact with the company that is trying to develop this. Since Telangana is taking the lead in this area, I would like to place on record that we must try to develop more and more surgical indigenous robots, which can then be used across all areas in public service, in public hospitals, in private hospitals, so that more and more patients can get benefit. Because right now we have all just imported, I think just one robot is being developed in Delhi and it's still in infancy. So with so much of background here, so many startups, so many talented people, we as medical community would like to join hands with all of you to develop these surgical tools to make surgeons give the best to patients. Other than surgical robots, there are applications of robots in many areas of medicine. I think most of you know. I would not take the time to discuss all that. However, what struck to me when Mr. Ranjan was speaking was responsible deployment. Responsible deployment of the hardware is one thing, but getting people trained to use those tools is, I think, is very close to my heart. This I say especially because I deal with healthcare, and healthcare needs to use these technologies safely for the patients to give the most efficient and effective and clinical outcomes. In that situation, in that perspective, I'd like to say that we are at the moment, although now multiple robots are there for surgical applications, we still don't have a framework how we can train, credential doctors and surgeons who are good to use them safely on patients. So maybe we can work with you and develop a training center or a simulation center where we can train both public as well as private doctors to get more and more experience and give the best to the patients that we so dearly care about. Thank you so much for having me and giving me this opportunity to be here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for providing the insights about how robotics and the technologies are being used in the space of healthcare, which is the key domain which we have identified in the framework. Thank you once again, ma'am. And now we have the last keynote speaker for the day, Shri SJK Kishore Garu from GMR. Please welcome him.
Honorable Minister Garu, Jayesh Ranjan ji, Ramadevi Garu, congratulations for this enabling framework for developing robotics in the state of Telangana, which makes us again putting Telangana as a leader in the emerging technologies. I just wanted to mention that just a couple of months back, Minister Garu, we just inaugurated our Center of Excellence for Robotics in GMR Innovex. Now GMR Innovex is a open innovation platform which we launched a couple of years back, and the whole objective is to give access to the startups with the end user, because today one of the biggest challenges when you develop some certain solutions, getting access and acceptability by the end user is a big challenge. So what we thought is, as a leading corporate, and especially in the aviation industry, which is a 360-degree industry space, right from hospitality, travel, retail, logistics, security, surveillance, name anything, it is there in some form or shape in the aviation ecosystem. So we thought that it will be good to have this innovation platform, and under the umbrella of the GMR Innovex, we were also trying to identify certain emerging technologies where lots of use cases could be there, and one of the shortlisted technology is the robotics technology. Right from, like today already few startups are working with us. I can name like Peppermint is working on the cleaning, the terminal cleaning and all, mopping and all. Wherever routine works are there, where there could be lapses by the human because we are doing the same job again and again, I think that is the best way where we can deploy robotics. So we have the cleaning machines. Also Flow Mobility is another startup, I think it is also present here, where the lawn mowing, as you see as you enter the airport, huge stretches of swales are there, where we keep on saying that it is not being tended properly. So we thought that the robotics could be one particular use case there. Few other, in fact, with HBots, we have conducted a interaction with all our business leaders, and we have come out with a list of various use cases, right from airport operations, perimeter surveillance, even in our MRO, there are a lot of use cases where robots can do a better job than the human beings. So we have this list of use cases, and we have launched this robotics lab, which is a common use lab, because what we thought is number of startups can come, work there, and they have access to the business leaders who will be telling them what will suit the business requirements. So it's an ecosystem what we are developing to co-create new products, new solutions, new robotic based solutions. And also recently, Minister Garu, we also started our GMR Innovex Fund, which invests into the startups. So we are very, very happy to see that that we will be playing a partnership role with the Telangana State Government Emerging Technologies Division, and we'll also lend our support to the growth of robotics technology. And I'm sure this robotics framework, which is being launched by the Honorable Minister, will pave a great, it will open vistas for various startups which are very keen and enthusiastic to develop something new in the robotics world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, SDK Kishore Garu from GMR. Thank you for your insights about GMR Innovex and the Center of Excellence in Robotics at GMR Airport. And from now we have few partnerships for the state, with the state, and few organizations. So first I would like to invite our chief guest K. Ramarao sir onto the stage, and Principal Secretary Jayesh Ranjan sir and Ramadevi ma'am from Government of Telangana side. And the first MOU with the state is with AgHub of PJTSU. I would like to invite Shri M. Raghunandan Rao sir, IAS Secretary Agriculture Corporation and Vice Chancellor, and Shri Vijay Nandini, CEO AgHub. So this partnership is about AgHub acting as a knowledge partner to the state in its efforts to bring innovation in the agriculture domain. Round of applause, please. Thank you, sir. Next is with GMR Innovex. I would like to invite S.J. Kishore, Executive Director GMR, onto the stage, please. And the partnership is about GMR Innovex intends to be an active corporate participant to ensure the development and growth of the robotics ecosystem in the Telangana state. A round of applause, please. Rama, you here, sir? Thank you, sir. Thank you, Executive sir and Rama here, sir. Up next is the partnership announcement with IIT Hyderabad. I would like to invite Professor Chandrasekhar Garu, Dean Sponsor Research, and Professor Suresh Garu, Dean Startups from IIT Hyderabad. The partnership is, as IIT Hyderabad being the leading academic institution, it shall develop academic programs to facilitate research and development in robotics at IITIs and polytechnic colleges through the Center of Continuing Education of IIT Hyderabad. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. The fourth in line for today, the partnership is with Art Park of IISc Bangalore. I would like to invite Mr. Raghuram Raju Garu, the President of Art Park, onto the stage. A round of applause, please. And with Art Park, we shall collaborate on projects, research, innovation in the field of robotics and AI in the state of Telangana. Thank you, Raghuram Raju Garu. And the last but not least is with All India Robotics Association. I would like to invite Kishan, the chairman of the IRA team, onto the stage. And the partnership is about IRA shall endeavor to establish Center for Advanced Robotics and Automation in the Telangana state with the focus on developing cutting-edge robotics technology. Round of applause, please. I'd like to invite Shanta ma'am, Chief Innovation Officer of TSIC, for the interview. This is a partnership with Telangana State Innovation Cell and All India Robotics Association. A round of applause, please. Thank you, sir. Up next is we have a surprise event plan which is going to be there in a few months from the state of Telangana. We would like to invite, sir, we would like to ask you to stay on the stage itself. Yes ma'am. So we would like to invite Kishan and the team to present the exciting moment. So please request it to go to there. Yes. Thank you everyone. The Global Robotics Summit, which is being planned for July 2023, will will be a exciting moment for all the robotics ecosystem in the state and in the country. We look forward for the event. And now Kishan will be delivering. Sir, I request you to take a seat. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for a wonderful day for all the roboticists in this auditorium especially. And it's a dream come true for every one of us. In 2016, so we came with the first robot at your ICT policy launch, if you remember. And from that day until then, so we are more than 300 members who are working on robotics. And today, with again you, it became a really dream come true. So we have this summit coming up in July, Global Robotics Summit. And as the name says itself, it's a global event. So from the last couple of years, especially post-pandemic, so we have a rise of robotic startups, or drastic rise of robotic startups. And from 352, we have grown to around 3,750 robotic startups across the country. And with that, we thought we have to focus on some global event. And we came up with Global Robotics Summit. So 25 countries are going to participate in this summit, and with 200 companies, 5,000 delegates, and 10,000 attendees. And we're going to concentrate and impact more than 1 million students across the country and more than 1 lakh students across the state of Telangana. And we're going to work on 10 domains, right from agriculture to defense, and it's for a 1 year long event for the first time in the entire history of robotics. Next slide. So we're going to have Robothons, so which is on July 21st. So we have a GRS curtain riser event. So it's a complete full day event. So where we're going to have Robothons. So it's a real-time problem statements, as Kishore sir was mentioning about GMR problem statements. The same, so we have problem statements across many domains. And all these problem statements will be given into public, and the students and the roboticists and all the startups will come up with real-time problem statements, real-time solutions. And then we have RoboWars, and we have startups, exclusive robotics startups pitching, and then rural innovation in robotics. Because Tier 1 and Tier 2 have been doing extraordinary in robotics, but we thought this year, as the state of Telangana is always focuses on rural innovation, so we also focused on rural innovation robotics. Next slide. And then we have global investments. Sir, on this stage, on behalf of Global Robotics Summit and IRA and ET, so we would like to promise you, because we definitely think so this will help, this will excite you a little bit of global investments. So we promise you, so we will get the best companies into the state of Telangana in the next 1 year for sure, which starts from July. And then we have global product launches. So this event will be focusing on product launches. So there's one event called Consumer Electronics Show in United States. And with the help of them, so we are using the same architecture to develop this event over in India. So this will be a global launch for all the global products across the globe. And then we have a Center for Advanced Robotics and Automation. So this will be a completely physical space which will be set up in the state of Telangana, and along with the support of government of Telangana. And this will completely concentrate on healthcare robotics, agriculture robotics, and space robotics. And we aim to get this center up and running in the next 2 years. And this is a promise, sir. And then students in robotics. So we have many startups who are working on it. So recently we partnered with a startup called Stumax, and we created exclusive 1 million roboticist training program in the next couple of years. Next. So finally, robotics is beyond technology and it is science. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you, sir. So
Thank you.
if you remember, so there's a one video.
Welcome to the exciting world of advanced robotics and automation. Over the past few years, this field has experienced incredible growth and innovation all around the globe. From manufacturing and healthcare to transportation and entertainment, robots are rapidly transforming the way we live and work. And now, All India Robotics Association, in collaboration with the government of Telangana, is set to become a major player in this exciting industry with the establishment of the Center of Advanced Robotics and Automation. This state-of-the-art facility will will serve as a hub for cutting-edge research and development in robotics and automation, which will attract top talent and investment from around the world. By leveraging the latest technologies and best practices in the field, the Center of Advanced Robotics and Automation will put the state of Telangana at the forefront of this rapidly evolving industry. From creating new jobs and boosting economic growth to improving our quality of life, the possibilities are truly endless. So join us on this exciting journey as we explore the incredible potential of advanced robotics and automation and witness the amazing things that can happen when we combine human ingenuity with the power of technology. Robotics is beyond technology, it is science. The future is bright.
Now, our dynamic leader, Mr. Honorable Minister of IT, Mr. KTR, sir, we request you to deliver keynote address.
Thank you. Good evening to all. My Principal Secretary Jayesh Ranjan, our Director of Emerging Technologies, Srimati Ramadevi Lanka, our Secretary Agriculture, Raghunandan Rao Garu, CEO of GMR Airport Hyderabad, SGK Kishore Garu, Special Secretary of Industries and Commerce Department, Dr. Vishnuvardhan Reddy, Puru from WEF. We also have Dr. Sinha from Apollo, Shrikant Sinha from DAS, and to all the distinguished audience, distinguished robotics enthusiasts, I welcome you all to this event. I think I was just wondering, in fact, when Kishore said, the monotonous thing of getting an airport cleaned every day is what you said. That can be delegated, that can be done by a robot. I'm thinking, I make so many speeches a day now. Maybe the time has come to have a robot actually replace me and also start making some speeches on a day-to-day basis. But nevertheless, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope I won't be replaced. But we all live in a very interesting time and era of technology, advancements on a day-to-day basis, how things keep changing, and how interesting the world really has become with innovations, discoveries, and it has changed the way we live, the way we think, the way we work, the way we communicate with each other. It's made the world a smaller place and brought people close together. There were times when I used to wonder if my mom could ever use a mobile phone with all features. But now today she is active on WhatsApp. She also looks at YouTube. She also absolutely enjoys, I'm sure, looking at some Facebook videos and other things. So it's interesting to see how humans can actually adopt to technology. Telangana as a state, from the very beginning, has realized the pivotal role of technology in the progress of our state. Therefore, we have focused immensely on adopting every latest technology and becoming a catalyst for technological innovations. Today and every day, in fact, I keep very proudly claiming that we are the startup state of India, and I keep saying we are in fact a pioneer in a number of ways in the way we use technology to improve the lives of our citizens. A classic example of that, what was mentioned by Purushottam Kaushik, the Sagu Bagu project here that we do in Telangana in association with the World Economic Forum is a classic example of that. Leveraging artificial intelligence for agriculture innovation is a unique idea, is a unique concept, and I'm delighted that Telangana actually chose to do it. We're now living in the era of fourth industrial revolution, which is driven by emerging technologies and is disrupting many sectors on a day-to-day basis. Harnessing it the right way will give us the necessary impetus to be a global leader in tech adoption. With this in mind, we have set up a first of its kind, emerging technologies wing back in 2017. We chose 8 emerging technologies that Jayesh and Rama spoke about. I'd not go into the details of that. Our objective was twofold. One, to design policy frameworks to be a leader, to be a thought leader, to set up institutions that encourage innovations, that encourage more and more tech adoption, which of course, again, the consequentially will result in research and development, capacity building, entrepreneurship, skill development, etc. We also wanted to be a government which adopts technology projects across domains. This way, in fact, our Honorable Chief Minister, whenever we tell him about a new technology that has come up, he always says, what is the positive societal impact of this technology? How will it help a common man on the ground? What kind of an impact can it have? Please tell us. So what we decided is that as a government, we should follow the PPP approach. P for policy, P for partnership, and P for projects. We decided that in a collaborative model, we can actually do more, and we can deliver more. Under this PPP framework, we have released 5 actionable policy frameworks on AI, cloud, blockchain, drone, and space tech that have helped us focus on the key foundational pillars of each of these technologies in order to accelerate growth and adoption of these technologies in Telangana. To establish partnerships, we have set up 5 dedicated centers of excellence, which were mentioned by Jayesh. NASSCOM, together with NASSCOM, together with educational institutions like the IIIT Hyderabad and global foundations like the World Economic Forum. These centers of excellence have, really ushered in a lot of very interesting innovations, have ushered in a lot of very interesting thought processes. From our perspective, the Telangana AI Mission is one. National Center for Additive Manufacturing is another one. Cybersecurity Center of Excellence is one such example. Center of Excellence in E-Waste Management and Blockchain District. These are all outcomes of this policy frameworks that have been created and institutions that have been a result of that. Coming to projects, we have worked on population scale projects that are centered around the use of emerging technology, and these projects are implemented across multiple domains, including agriculture, healthcare, transportation, law enforcement, environment, and forests. The project part of the framework could be considered the most impactful, as this is where we are as a government can really deliver value to the people. Now today's event and why we're all gathered here today, robotics as a technology has become a game changer. In fact, a few years ago, when I also donned the responsibility of being the municipal administration minister of the state of Telangana. So when I had a problem in my sewerage system, the Hyderabad Metro Water Supply and Sewerage Board, I had to resort to a robotics company. I asked them to give me a robot that can go into the sewer and look at where there are challenges with respect to thinning of pipes, breaching of a pipe's perimeter, etc., etc. These are very, very useful tools. In fact, whenever we see some disasters such as a fire accident, etc., the immediate thought that comes to mind is how do you save? Because property loss is okay, relatively speaking, but human life, the loss of it is something that is unpardonable. So therefore, how do we use technology, how do we use things like robotics to make sure that we actually deliver value to our society? Robotics is not just about automating tasks, or Kishore said repetitive tasks can be done by robots much more effectively because humans tend to get bored. But it's also about unlocking new levels of creativity, productivity, and innovation by enabling us to do things that we could not do before. It provides several benefits such as improved safety, enhanced precision and accuracy, and increased efficiency. These benefits translate to potential for improvement in several industries like healthcare. Dr. Sinha spoke about how she's been using robots to assist her with complex gynecological challenges. I'm sure there are many, many examples where we have doctors sitting elsewhere in the world, London or US or somewhere else in the world, and performing surgeries, can perform surgeries rather through robotics. We also can think of potential improvements in logistics, agriculture of course, because the other day I was in Warangal in a college called KITS, the Kakatiya Institute of Technology, which is where Shanta is also from. Very interesting to see how quickly the youngsters in these tier 2 cities are also adopting to technology. They demonstrated, the students actually demonstrated to me, an autonomous tractor. They've developed an autonomous tractor, a driverless tractor, which can go around in the field. Because in India, I don't think the days close when we actually can have an autonomous car on the roads. I think that's a challenge. But I think a field, an agriculture field, is okay, because you would have fewer people. So therefore, there are a lot of areas in which you can really Indianize these ideas, Indianize these solutions, and come out with something truly useful, as our Chief Minister says, to the society at large. So by establishing this robotics ecosystem in the state, We are wanting to create newer avenues for growth in other industry verticals as well, thereby boost our economic output and as a result also be a leader in the country. Globally, robotics is seeing an increase in demand. According to the Oxford Economics report, the number of robots used across the world has multiplied threefold over the past 2 decades. Countries like China, Japan and US lead the board in the adoption of robots. India is only the 10th largest market for year-on-year robotics installations, according to the World Robotics report. Therefore, there's a lot of potential to penetrate and grow. And as a country, I think we should aim to be in the top 5 in the next decade or so. India must take up manufacturing of robots to fulfill this demand, both domestic and globally. India should also adopt more robotics technologies to advance its manufacturing capabilities. In fact, we can manufacture robots not just for ourselves, but also for the rest of the world. A holistic policy like the one that we have come out with here in Telangana will be a shining light for the rest of the country as well. This framework, being the first in the country by any state, is a shining example of what Telangana wants to show to the nation and the world, that we, of course, welcome investors, startups and robotics enthusiasts, but also we would like to see a perceptible change, a perceptible positive impact on the society at large. True to what we have accomplished before, we want to bring forth new innovations in the field of robotics and use it to enhance the prosperity of the population. With the framework in place, our vision is to create a sustainable robotics ecosystem that champions innovation, entrepreneurship, research and development, and position the state as a leader in this field. I'm confident that the 4 key domains, agriculture, healthcare, industrial automation, and consumer robotics, will serve us well, and the 5 key pillars, infrastructure access, business enablement, fostering research and innovation, human capital enhancement, and responsible deployment, will also nurture and promote a vibrant and sustainable robotics industry in Telangana. As Telangana continues to strive towards tech advancements and development, the state is committed to embracing new technologies and promoting innovation across sectors, ensuring a better tomorrow for all. With the Telangana Robotics Framework, I believe that we
want to actually take the first mover advantage and decided to come out with this framework. Well, as I said earlier, why do we need these frameworks, or why do we launch these frameworks? Well, these are strategic documents that helps the government to focus on key areas or key pillars that help the growth of the ecosystem. Well, when you have minimum resources, just like the industry does, what do? You actually deploy them to maximize your outputs. That's what we do through these frameworks. Because we focus on those key pillars to achieve the intended outcomes. Apart from this, once we actually, come out with this framework document, we just don't sit there and say, oh, we have released a document. We work very diligently to execute the framework. And the approach is again a unique one that we have is, we set up institutions or entities, that actually help us execute this framework. So for each of those frameworks, we have organizations, with teams from the private sector that actually run, both private and public sector, the government, that run these or execute this framework. And just to give you an example, we set up the Telangana AI mission, as part of our Year of AI program, or we call it TAIM, to execute or implement our AI strategy document. Again, we do this in partnership with various organizations. For TAIM, we said we'll partner with NASSCOM. And today I can proudly say, we are one of the leading states leveraging AI in agriculture. I have Raghurandan sir sitting in front of me, he can vouch for it. Forestry, education, climate change and forests, etc. in other domains to improve lives, to create impact. We are also setting up an enabling digital infrastructure, making available high performance computing to startups. That's one. Second, we are also building digital public goods or digital public infrastructure. And just to give an example is, we are actually building agriculture data exchange platform. It's a data exchange platform where data will be made available, over a platform. It's not like we're storing on, it's a very unique one. We are working on this with Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. For each of our programs or initiatives, we have very unique partners. Well, coming to the agenda today, we have kept it very simple because we wanted to focus more on the framework launch and such things. So post my actually welcome address, His Excellency Mr. Didier van der Hasselt, Ambassador of Kingdom, will be speaking, will be addressing the audience. He will be sharing his thoughts on that, followed by Jai Ranjan sir giving an overview of the framework. What does it comprise of, our framework? Then the Honorable Minister will be launching the framework. Post that, as I said, a couple of partners have come forward, and we identified certain areas where we'll work together. It's signing of MOUs with 5 organizations. Post that, we have an announcement. I don't want to do it now. It's a kind of a surprise. Then we have few speakers who are our partners, will be speaking on this, just 3 minutes to each of the speakers. Then finally, the keynote address by our Honorable Minister. Post that, we have open house discussion. It's a very interactive one, which Puru from World Economic Forum is actually, organizing it. So stay back for that. In fact, sir, if you have time, we want to organize that when you are here.